Dude.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Hey everybody, welcome to a new video. My name is John Skippy Limkle. This is Casey Baldwin, ExoSun.
Hello. Hi.
From Florida, the land of... Why don't you have a tan? You live in Florida.
Because we stay out of the sun. We're vampires. No, the funny thing is we live like a mile or so from the beach and we never go.
It's like when I lived in Los Angeles and, went to Disneyland 3 times, I think, the whole time I was there. That's how it works. Anyway, this is a video where we are going to go through a library that you have created and then I worked with you on for Spire.
Mm-hmm.
We like Spire.
Yeah, great synth.
It came
Underrated.
Unknown.
Yeah.
It's actually really cool how well it sounds with Omnisphere. It has such a different personality to Omnisphere.
I use both. I layer them together all the time, and their engines are so different, but equally, they're powerful in their own ways, but they're different, and
right.
they complement each other very well.
I think that's a missing point. A lot of people, because a lot of people that have Omnisphere think that's all they need, and
no,
it's kind of like eating the same food every day.
Yeah.
Even if you make lots of flavors of macaroni and cheese, it's still macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying Omnisphere is macaroni and cheese, but
No. It's just it's nice to have different flavor or color profiles in your sonic palette. And for example, the stuff I use the most is Spire, Omnisphere 2, Serum, Anna, and Synthmaster 2, and Hive as well. So
right.
Those things, because I can't plug in my hardware, but right now at least.
And each one of those synths, even if they're similar, Serum and Spire are similar, but they are very different in their color, I guess you could call it. They don't do things the same way. So
they don't sound like each other at all. And the same thing goes for Omnisphere. The engine is and that is completely different from the one at Spire. So
yeah, we love Omnisphere. So
yeah.
Well, tell us about yourself. Give us a really quick rundown, because I make it a goal. Anybody that does a library for my website, I want people to know who you are and know that you have experience and that this isn't your first outing with making sounds and music and production.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like John said, my name's Casey, or ExoSun. You can call me either one. I'll answer to both.
Yeah.
I live in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale to be exact, and I have been making electronic music since I was 13-ish. Is when I got my first synth, which was a Corrigo and WFD, by the way.
Right.
And I
one of those kids I worked on a long time ago.
Yeah. I moved on to a JD800, an Emulator 2 Plus, and a bunch of other stuff. Started making progressive house and trance in the mid-late 90s. I picked up DJing around then too. And back then, it was all MIDI, and I made patches. I made my own patches, but up until very, very recently, I was just making patches to suit the needs of what I was doing at the time. And I'd save them, but there wouldn't. I might call them up again for a future project, but most of the time not. Sometimes I just make it on the spot and I wouldn't save it, and then the project would be done. I've been making music for quite some time, and I've used a variety of synthesizers, and it's been a really fun journey. But this was a laborious undertaking.
Yes.
So
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
When you want to get it to be a flexible because as you were working on the library, it was Spire 1.0. And then just close to the end of the library, Spire 1.1 came out with 4 real-time knobs.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can. Why don't you explain to them the standard?
We'll just go through the library and show you. We standardize it so the knob 1 typically is oscillator changes, something that harmonically is shifting of interest in the sound. 2 is envelopes, typically, so you can go from a pad to a plucky sound.
Or LFOs.
Or pitchy Gs coming in and being more snappy. Things to change the envelope tonality of the sound, but still affecting the sound. Knob 3 is almost always delay. Knob 4 is almost always reverb. And you spin it all the way to the left. that reverb and the delay can go away, or you spin to the right, you can get loads and loads for the really big epic breakdown moments in a song, and then those can easily be automated in your sequencer.
Yeah, and, which just expands your flexibility.
Yeah, it expands it big time. All right, we're gonna go to the small screen version of Casey. Boom.
Bye.
And move this over here. I know now you gotta speak with a helium voice.
It's just me now.
Okay, so really quickly, I'm gonna show you the library. When you download and extract it, it's in this folder. There's the really kick-ass artwork, which is done. What was his name?
Matt Chowsky.
Matt Chowsky.
Yeah, great trance producer. Look him up if you haven't. He does some amazing music, but he's also a very talented graphic
He's a very
artist.
talented graphic designer. So I will be talking to him about future things, because this was just very, very cool. He took your love of space, sci-fi, all that kind of stuff.
He also gave it kind of an 80s vibe with the neon text.
Yep.
Which is cool.
Yep. Keep it in the 80s and 90s for sure. Yeah. So also in the folder is the README, which contains the list of patches, a little bit about Casey, a little comment from me, instructions on installing the library. This is one of the easier libraries to install. There's 2 files. There's the bonus and then the full library. And the bonus is free at the Plugin Guru website. You can go there now and download that for free to check out. And then the full library is right here. All you have to do to install this is right over here. This is this new area that showed up in version 1.1 of Spire. And you just say import. And, there's Mega Magic Dreams 2. Yes, we're working on the future. You select one of the 2 libraries and you say open. And now when you go to the select button at the bottom of the list, those libraries now show up. And they've been actually moved into your documents folders where they eventually reside. And by doing that, you can quickly change to the factory library. None of these have the lights on, if you'll notice. And if you go over here to even the bonus library, all the lights light up because we assign them to everything. And the full library.
Although factory library 6, which was put into 1.1, some of the knobs light up. But this is the first Spire library, to my knowledge, that has all 5 sources at your disposal.
So here's theirs. They have a couple knobs assigned, but they aren't doing anywhere near the radical changes that we're doing with FuturX. This can take this sound. That's one knob. Here's Pitchy G. I mean, it's really fun. And again, here's delays, or off, and reverb. And I'm not going to go through every patch doing this. We're going to do this quickly at this point. But I want to show you also, once you've moved these, I mentioned this in the previous video, if you go away and come back, it still remembers where your knobs were set at. And if you want it to sound like the factory patch, the way that we saved it, go to menu, restore preset, and now it's back.
They need to implement a restore dedicated button.
I agree. They need one more button right here above Soundbank or something, or I'll talk to them about that because we now have a relationship with them. They're a very nice company. So, Krabby Claus. Here's Overdose, which is another acid patch. Resonance, Square Wave or Saw, Pitchy G we were talking about. Awesome. Photonic Acidos. That resonance is so cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love it.
It's really smooth, too.
Yeah.
Filters are super smooth, all of them.
But not painful.
Yeah, they did a really nice job developing these filters.
Even when everything's going insane, it's still a very high definition sound, it seems.
Yeah.
All right, here's the sequences. Here's 303 calling. So you can see where you can take the patches.
To another dimension.
To another dimension. Here's Write It. Okay, here's the Jim Hadar. What is a Jim Hadar?
Jim Hadar is a reptilian creature that serves as the guard for the Dominion in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. They're addicted to a narcotic that's fed to them, and they have these this race that kind of watches over them and doles out this drug. Without it, they go into shock and they die.
I'm giving you musical background to your story here. It's kind of cool there for a minute.
Yeah.
I just needed a huge drum to hit. Boom.
They're a very formidable enemy, and they're just badass.
So this sound has to match that.
Yeah.
And it does. Jim Hadar 2 has an LFO.
Also a different arpeggiator sequence.
Yes. Very cool. Here's the Green Hornet. Super acid bass. With video game chirping on the mod wheel.
Yeah.
Gotta have some chirps. Here's your bell. Here's there's two bell patches that are really nice. Here's 90s Workstation.
Kind of a throwback to the old days with the Ford and Roland workstation style synths, the 01, the Trinity, the Triton, and the
Waystation.
Yeah. Yes, Waystation. Yeah, big time.
Yes, with all the VS waveforms. Very reminiscent of that. Here's Looking Glass.
This one I really like. This one was one of yours. I really like what you did with it.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome.
Lots of flexibility on the knobs. Have a good time. Here's Ancient Greece. I'm going to start with the mod wheel up. It has a fifth chord in it.
Yeah, it's a portal sound. Those are always fun.
We've had a couple comments already on this library since it's been out for a couple of days. They're up on the website, and a couple of guys are really thrilled that this isn't just a whole bunch of sound like radio EDM stuff, but a lot of like tributes to really cool synthesizer patches and Blade Runner and all that kind of stuff.
I wanted this to be as well-rounded as possible because there's a zillion biggest EDM drop libraries.
Main Club Room 42.
Yeah, and it's just pretty much, and they're usually like 30 to 60 patches of the same sound.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you'll find 5 or 6 in the library that sound the same.
Yeah.
Not here.
I didn't want to do that. John didn't want to do that. We wanted to make this as flexible and as fun and usable for multiple styles of music. So don't think that this is just for one style of music. That's what I really wanted to express with this. I wanted people to realize that Spire is not just an EDM fad synth. It's super powerful, super flexible. You can make it do pretty much almost anything.
Like, for example, here's the first of the basses. This is First Night of the Con, and you've got so many places. To take it just with a couple controllers. Like I showed in the power review, the second half we made a patch from scratch. And on the matrix page, you can assign up to 4 things to be changed. So here the mod wheel is changing delay, it's changing parameters in the oscillators, it's doing cutoff, it's doing, actually there's 2 more parameters over here. So it's doing 6 different parameters are being changed in different ways, and here's negative direction and positive, just by moving this one controller.
And with the knobs, it gives you're pretty much getting multiple patches in one, so it's serious value for money.
Yeah, it's exponential because they interact. If you move knob 2 and it changes parameters, and now you move this, it moves the parameters based on where they were set with knob 2. So it just makes it even more flexible. Very cool. Bare bone sub.
Or is it?
Or is it, depending on... serious attitude on the mod wheel. Bavia's sweep.
Badius.
My Norway is pretty bad, so.
It's Norwegian slang, so it's all right. That's dedicated to my friend and fellow collaborator, Bjorn Marius Borg.
Yes.
He and I together are Badius and ExoSun. So a lot of sounds, he makes a lot of these bass sweep type sounds often in his own music with his other project. So
there it is.
That's the story behind that.
That's the patch he can use. Your basic bitch.
Saw a lot of those last night.
Yeah. Call Me Stacked.
That's another Chordal one, I believe.
Yes, and if you go to the mods and you set the matrix for the top mod wheel setting to be a little bit higher, you get even more obvious of what's on the mod wheel. It's a hidden oscillator.
Yeah, there's a lot of Easter eggs hidden in these patches, so.
Right.
Lots of fun things to discover.
So you get chordal when you bring the mod up. Here's chime time. Serious attitude on the knobs. Awesome. Here's your classic, the classic B pulsar.
Class B.
Oh, class B. That's right, it's a spaceship, right?
No, that's just an astronomical or astronomy thing. Star Trek-ish. Yeah.
This is one, if you go to the reverb, the pre-delay is tempo synced to be like an eighth note late. I believe it's an eighth note. Yep. So.
Yeah, what do you call it? The pre-delay, yeah.
Just gives you this cool space. If you have it with a big drum groove going on, that reverb kind of like fills in the hole where the kick goes away. So it's kind of cool. Here's your dentist bass.
Kind of drilly sounding, but.
Very cool. Here's Dirty Slapper.
Some fun pitch EG on this one.
Serious.
And a bit of a shaper as well to give it that dirt.
And more on the knobs if you want it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your DX bass guitar.
Gotta have one of those, especially if you're synthing new FM.
If you want to clamp the shape of the envelope, just bring up the mod wheel. And doing that in a groove is really fun, I have to tell you. ESQ style. And then it can go way beyond an ESQ if you want.
Yeah. It goes places the ESQ just can't go.
Yeah. Here's your version of upgrade of a Hoover. This is the Dyson.
Yeah, for the drum and bass folks out there.
And you've got that ultra evil MIDI EQ on the mod wheel that I love. So.
Yeah, I use the EQ as basically an extra filter.
Yeah.
You can set it up to do that. It's really flexible. The EQ in Spire is
yeah,
really
it can really shape the sounds nicely.
Mm-hmm.
In the 80s, we played this sound.
Yeah, this one was fun because I figured out a way to simulate oscillator drift of, like an old Oberheim or sequential circuits or Moog or what have you.
Right.
With the LFOs.
And the drift button on too, which adds extra drift to it as well. So.
Yeah, but I found that if you have the LFOs on a really slow synced rate,
mm-hmm.
And you take the pitch of the oscillators and you just affect them slightly, it gives it a really nice,
right,
randomized.
Right. So oscillator 2 and 3 pitch are being changed with different amounts with the LFO to give you that. Here, I'll exaggerate it so you can. That's going on. but tucked in just to the right amount.
Yeah, you really gotta fine tune it, but I mean that's a little trick for you with this, and you can do this with other synths too, if you want to get that sound. So
here's without it. This is with the values of 0. It just sits there.
Yeah, no personality.
So finding the right values there, that's the experience that we're talking about that Casey has. So he was the perfect candidate to make this library. Little bit of old school.
Classic Hoover.
It's got that serious round, warm bottom that we love so much.
It's got some mid and high end sizzle to it too.
Yes, it sure does. All right, make it hard. This is for your Lionel Richie ballads. Again, automating like the mod wheel like that. Good time. I love this bass. Here's Moon Bounce.
Yeah, big obese analog style.
Very big and round.
Yeah.
And this is one, if you go over to the envelopes, go to both envelopes 1 and 3 and set the release up on both because they're both clamped down. And that's how you get the release to ring out. If you didn't do the envelope 3, it still seems short because this one is, the envelope is a big part of this sound. So there you go. Pad bed sub, something solid underneath everything else going on.
Yeah, good for breakdowns or intros too, or endings really. I mean, you can use it lots of different ways.
You can decay out. Be a sine wave. Lots of ways to use it. Punchy.
Nice little mid-level bass for the center.
Very punchy. Lovely. Here's ExoSun. Kind of a Huber as a fast bass, right?
Sort of, yeah. It's meant to kind of pay tribute to EBM industrial style basses with lots of arpeggiated sequencing going on, and you can do some fun things with this. Just play around with, draw in your notes with a bass like this because you get some fun stuff going on.
I'm rocking out over here. All right, now we start the bass sequences. There's some fun ones in here. Here's Borg Chatter. Let me turn this up a little bit. I'm going to play the controls for a second. So much to play with. Okay. Seriously good time. Here's sequence bouncing. And has a hole on the downbeat.
Bouncing around. Yeah, that's one that's around the kick.
Yeah, totally. Let's see. Okay. After bouncing, we've got Classic Writer, another one of those where...
Yeah, a lot of these are meant to be mid-level center bass. You layer these. Don't be afraid to layer them with other things.
That's this is to be used with like Moon Bounce or something hitting the bottom when the kick isn't there or something. So
yeah. And even though a lot of them kind of are set up to note off when your kick is hitting, you can still use a sidechain compressor on it because that can
make it bounce even more. Yeah.
Yeah, and it can work well with the effects, the reverb and the delay. It kind of gives it a bit of life.
Yeah. So I'm just playing and moving the mod wheel to bring up accents when you want them. It's great. Awesome. Deep bass.
Deep bass 9.
Deep bass 9. There's a case where I don't see the patch name.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Deep bass 9. Up here it just looks like deep bass.
There's a number attached there. There's a Star Trek reference.
Totally. Enjoy the Quiet, which
I think most people will get what I had in mind when I was making this, but I had to change one of the notes so we don't get in trouble.
Yes. If you want, you can take the notes that's transposed up to a 7 and bring it down to 0. So, and you're in Depeche Mode land.
Yeah.
But we saved it a different way, just out of respect. Sequence. Go for a ride.
Yeah, a lot of these do take you for a ride too.
Cool. Here's heavy. Where is it at? Heavy driver. Serious sub. Stab. Coolio. Here's hit me hard. And so these are sounding like really hard patches at 135 beats per minute. But remember, if you take it to 95 beats per minute,
Staffelstein style.
go over here to the envelope. You got chill. Maybe.
Oh, you can, also...
It's more flexible. You can change the tempo to set it to how you want it to be. So
yeah, you can use these however you want. I made these at around... I had my host tempo to between 135 and 138 just because that's usually where I work in. So...
Yep.
But they'll work in any tempo.
Yeah, it is. The things that are sequenced are tempo based. So if you work at slower tempo genres of music, it's not afraid to go there. And with just a few small edits, you can take it and make it work with you. Here is progressive swing.
This one's fun.
This one's very fun because it's got I'm back at 135, so.
That primarily would be played around between 128 and 132. Is a good spot for that.
Okay, here's 130.
Get the groove a little bit more.
Now, the fun thing with this is that Casey assigned the swing and the gate to the mod knob 1, so now it's straight. And it brings up another synth oscillator. This oscillator 3 was hidden. So you could go over here and look and say, make it louder. Bring it down, now you're swinging again. Cool, very cool. Rough Rider. This is for those rides in the Arizona desert.
Yeah, that name can be taken a couple different ways.
Yes, it's an irritating ride. Bass, simple, stupid. So we're back to normal basses. It organized the library alphabetically. So the sequence patches are in the middle of the basses. Very velocity sensitive. If you don't need the delays, just remember knob 3, bring it down. And you've got dry. Slappy rounder.
Some pitchy G fun on this one.
Yes. But nice and it's done in a tasteful way. It's just not like, it's...
Yeah, it just adds a nice attack to it. Helps it cut through your mix a bit more.
Yep. The Mighty Seventh.
These portal ones are a lot of fun to do.
All you mouse fans out there?
Yeah. They work well as leads too.
The saturated sub. Nice big round.
It's got some bite to it.
Oh, this is the one that's got the octave switching on the mod wheel, so you can...
Yeah, because I use that PWM.
Yeah, the SAW PWM. And if you want to do total Game Boy, go to the Control A and just do the whole range. And you get 4 octaves. And a fifth harmonic in there. Very cool. All right, we're through the bases. Closed spice hats. These are spicy hats.
Yep, got a little bit of flavor.
And I also found if you play quarter notes, you get sprinklers. Very important. And you can change the color, all sorts of elements of the sound with the controls. Here's a different hi-hat pattern. Less resonance. But you got a lot of control with the mods. That's really cool. Proggy popper.
Yeah, kind of a pitched percussive sound. But
And you got the reverb with the pre-delay.
Yep.
And if you don't want the reverb, just turn that down. And it's got a whole different vibe. And if you bring up both mod knobs, you end up with an ocarina.
Yeah, it's kind of like a lead. Turns into a lead.
So that's a lot of fun. War is nigh. This is your big war drum. Cool. Very sinister. Now we get to effects. We've got some fun effects here. Here's your 80s UFO landing. LFO speeds on the mod wheel.
Lots of raspberry action.
Raspberries, yeah. Digital to organic. This is very fun. This is another Easter egg. See how Oscillator 2 has the yellow? That means you're not hearing it when you first call it up. Then you bring up the mod wheel.
You get whales.
Whales, dolphins.
Some gargantuan creature of the deep.
Very cool. Falling star. You have it doing other sweeps. Have a rise instead of a fall, and then a fall if you use mod knob 2. Very flexible. Here's rise and fall. It's got a little bit of that pulsing action.
Yeah, I did like some sidechain style stuff on it.
Solar wind. Gotta have a noise patch. With added fun stuff on the mod wheels. I never say this right. Thalassa. Right?
Yeah, that's one of Neptune's moons.
Yes, I definitely feel like I'm not in Earth's orbit at the moment. And the mod, that's just the mod wheel. Then you got these other controls to play with, so have fun. The Psy Guy.
Classic Psytrance.
Yeah, you gotta have the drops in. More raspberries on the mod wheel if you want. Very fun. Guitar, your twin peaky.
For all you David Lynch fans.
Yes. Anytime you need that cold desert guitar sound, then this is definitely a place to go.
Yeah, Spire does guitars very well.
Very nice. Here's In Space.
One of the key sounds.
Yeah, and if you want, the LFO is being used for the electric piano for the pitch EG. You can bring these down. Bring down the reverb. And you got a nice piano. Without the wobble, but the wobble's cool to start up with because it shows you where you can go with it. Here's Mouse B3. And you've got controls.
Make it dirty, clean. What do you want?
More liturgical, if you wish. I'm pushing the wrong button. Now we get to the leads. Here is Air-Minded.
Armin van Buuren.
Yes, you gotta have an Armand type lead.
I think he's playing at Ultra.
Yes.
Today. Maybe yesterday or Friday, I don't know.
Now in the leads, you'll find also some things that are polyphonic. So look over here at what mode it's set to. Poly, because it's a great pluck. As well as a great lead sound.
Yeah, that sound of lead is really in vogue right now. So I had to throw a couple of those in there. There's another one too later on.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 that are really nice. Okay, after Barrios, we've got Battlestar Galactica. Sense
nice
in full glory.
Yeah, hybrid sound. It's cool.
Yeah, and the mod will get you more brassy, stringy. I don't know the theme to Battlestar, so.
I do.
I'm
sure a lot of the customers do as well.
If not, find it on YouTube and now you can copy it, you know?
Yeah.
Learn it.
Make your own version. You got the sound.
Yeah. Class 4 Nebulous.
Yeah, I believe that was one of your favorite leads.
Yeah, I love this one. Oh, that attack right there is so nice. Love it. Here's Exhale.
That's one of my favorites. Very Corsten tribute.
Yeah, it just gets so... in a cutting way, but a cool way when you bring up the mod wheel. Gatecratcher. Another pluck. That's really cool.
Yeah, plucky lead.
Cool. Going Nova. Really cool multi-oscillator.
Nice timbre with that one.
And again, there's like a ton of variations of leads just on the mod wheel. Very cool. Very usable. Eye People is a big, dark, chordal kind of a lead sound.
Octaves, lots of octaves in that.
Keibu?
Kind of retro analog sounding.
Here's Let's Get Dirty. Which would also be great for progressive rock heads. I can see Jordan Rouge just playing on this.
That'd be cool. That would be cool to see in here.
Yeah. Lead like everyone else.
Another Armin van Buuren style.
Lovely. Opening title.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
Enough said. Decker.
It's awesome. Vangelis would be proud. Out of the Blue.
Another Ferry Corsten tribute.
This could also work as a bass. A lot of leads work as basses. A lot of basses work as leads. I've mentioned that before in past videos.
Yeah, don't be afraid to experiment.
Right.
You know, use these sounds however you want. There's no right or wrong way to do it.
Right. Absolutely. Prog Power. Really cool. And then you have Hidden Chord Choir from Oscillator 4 on Mod Knob 1, so you can go. Very fun. Pulse Star.
Another Vangelis tribute sound.
Whole range. Very different with the mod wheel up for different types of levels, for different melodies. Resurrection.
It's got some nice tonal color to it.
And it's set up as a polyphonic. You could set it to mono 3 and bring up the glide. And you have all the, cool trap ghosty lead. Ready to go.
Could also work well with like indie electro rock type stuff too.
Yes, totally. And here's Star Sign lead. Really cool attack. Very velocity sensitive, so you can. Or use all the controls and make it go wacko. So you get all that from one patch. That's value for your money, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Stellar guitar. And the mod wheel will... Very cool. Okay, Strummer. I love this one. This has a very cool, whole total...
This sound would work really well layered with something belly or guitarish as well off of Omnisphere.
Yes. Yeah, this really shows that color thing where this color mixed with something from Omnisphere, where it's sample based and it's like really pure tone, would be a really cool mix. Very nice. All right, Temple 1.
Yeah, great producer.
Yeah, totally. Very much like his signature sound. This morn, I woke up, made the sound this morning. Great attack when you have the mod wheel up. Then Yono's Valhalla.
Yeah, Mr. Johnny Yono.
He did a demo.
Based off of one of his songs called The Highways of Valhalla. I tried to replicate the lead that he did with that. And then when he heard it and played around with it, he's like, oh yeah, I stacked like 5 different sounds for that. I'm like, well, I've got 4 oscillators, so yeah, I did the best I could.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds very similar and it's one synth. So that's kind of a nice compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's the end of the leads, and now let's move on to pads. Here's Alpha Prime, our first pad. And you're using LFOs to give you the tinkles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have the tingles. All right, next, Andoria.
Very icy sounding pad. For an icy planet.
Yeah, but warm in a simple, you're all alone kind of way.
These pads, especially ones like that, are good to layer with other things.
And the mod wheel definitely gets it colder.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Here's Astrom's Galaxy.
Yeah, that's one of the two sounds in this library that are dedicated to the lovely Emily.
Yes.
Who many of you saw doing promo work for Plugin Guru at NAMM.
Yes, she was at the NAMM show. In fact, I'll pop a picture up in the video right now of her. We got into the light and special effect booths at the NAMM show, and they let her take some pictures real quick. So we took some nice shots of her wearing the Plugin Guru logo on a latex shirt. It's very fun.
Yeah. So that's her galaxy.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Awesome. Azure Eyes.
Yeah, this is a favorite pad of mine. It's really just really lush and rich.
Yeah, just perfect for it. If you play up the keyboard and you need more, bring up the key track. I'll give you a little bit more speaking in the top end. Here's Digital Domain.
It's kind of a hybrid pad.
Right. It's using the sync, FM, and a classic oscillator with wavetables.
Yep. It's I meant it to be cold sounding, so.
That definitely has that vibe. All right, here's Emily's digital, what's this? A Digital Dream.
Yep, another Emily pad, or patch. Very, very deep sound.
Until you bring up the mod wheel, and then it's like, oh my god! Fulstrom's Paradise. Am I saying that? Flossin Paradise.
For you Fifth Element fans.
Oh, this is the octave one, right?
Yeah, and the chordal, very chordal, and yeah, there's some fun stuff going on in that one.
And the mod wheel up, the pulsing goes away. Cool. Glorious Analog is just that.
Again, this is another patch that utilized the LFOs to simulate drifting oscillators.
Yes, yes. Yes, those slight imperfections that make something nice. Just Beautiful.
Yeah, nice lush pad. Everybody needs those.
Got a little wave shaping to it from the shaper.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And the mod wheel. Here's Just Jara.
Gotta pay tribute to one of the masters.
Truly.
I think Spire does that really well with their phaser. The phaser's just right on point with this.
Yeah, you worked a lot on this, I remember.
That was the first pad I made in the library.
Does have reminiscent Oxygen moments in it. Here's Los Angeles, November 2019.
Another Blade Runner.
Right, that's like the opening film scene, right?
Yeah. You combine that with the opening titles and you have the full
done deal
opening sequence, and you can see the Tyrell Corporation building in the background with ships flying around it.
Yeah. So here's Sad Peter. Oh, this is Sad Phil Collinsy.
Yep. I'm a big Genesis fan, so had that Prophet 10 sound. Filters lend themselves really well to Prophet type sounds on this synth too.
Nice. And you need a sign pad, so covering all bases. Mist on the Fjords. This is for the misty, mysterious
Vikings.
Totally. They use my patches on that show all the time, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Maybe they'll pick up this library.
I'm sure they will. They're good friends.
Love that show, by the way.
Yeah, it's got a lot going on. Here's Planetary Dome.
That's a Star Trek reference.
It's got that pulsing rhythm to it. Ready to go. Here's Planetary Orbit.
And this one sends you around the planet. Did some fun stuff with the panning. which is really cool in the oscillator section. You can
Yes.
assign that.
Yeah, see,
which
the
is
red light
very
under pan means that stuff is happening to oscillator 1 and 3's panning positions. It's cool. Here's real strings.
They sound as real as I can get. And these strings are awesome to layer with a pad like Azure Eyes, and there's another pad coming up shortly that layers well with that one too. I've done it a couple times and it sounds huge.
Yeah. Here's Regillian Moonrise.
Another Star Trek reference.
Yeah.
Rigel.
Awesome. I love Ryza.
That's another Star Trek reference. It's the Pleasure Planet. But this is the pad I was talking about that really take the real strings pad.
Yeah.
Layer this one or Azure Eyes with it. Oh man, it's glorious. Great for you film score guys.
Yeah, or chill. This you can play like little synth. I mean, that's beautiful. And that's not even using the other 4 modulation controllers. Simple Sunrise.
Yeah, nice summer sunrise.
And the mod wheel to when the sun comes up.
Yep.
Lovely. The Lonely Pad.
Yeah, I feel bad for the lonely pad.
Me too.
Need some friends. So layer him with some friends, and then he won't be lonely anymore.
But it's nice, lonely.
Yeah, that's true.
It's nice.
It's good on its own.
I wouldn't say he's in a bad place. Sometimes it's okay to be a little alone. Here's Winter Morning. Final pad.
Yeah. Reminiscent of my years growing up in northeastern Wisconsin, winter mornings.
Cold out there, huh?
Oh, yeah. Frigid. But beautiful, especially after a fresh snowfall.
That sound reminds me of Boards of Canada kind of too, for some of the stuff I like to do. Okay, that's the end of the pads, and now we start the lovely plucks. Akinya, right?
Yep, that's correct. That's I took it was 2 plucks initially that Björn Badius did for our song Akinya.
Mm-hmm.
He made them in massive, and he sent me the patches, and I just, because they were using 2 oscillators in massive a piece, so I'm like, okay, well, I'll just take 2 oscillators and I'll make it in
right
inside Spire, and it worked out.
Yeah,
sounds exactly like it. It's a great plug.
Yeah, it's got that same kind of in your face, that kind of hard hit that Massive has.
Yeah, I replicated that with the envelopes. And this one stands great on its own, or you can layer it with other things.
Yeah.
You know, go nuts. Like I said, there's no rules at all. So have fun with these.
Exactly. Right on, Professor Casey. Art me, please.
Use the arpeggiator. Try it out with this. It's fun. It makes it really brings it to life.
Right. Lovely. And there's vocal qualities on this one with the controllers. So have fun with those. Here's BT 1995.
Good old Brian Tranzo, EMA style.
Great range to it. Edge of the Galaxy. There it is. Oh, I love this one because it's not really a pluck and it's not really a synth. It's kind of like a hybrid in between.
Yeah, and it's very spacious too, so it really takes you out to the outer rim of the galaxy, so to speak.
Works with sparse notes.
Huh?
Works just playing sparse parts too.
Yeah. The film guys and the chill ambient guys are gonna love this patch.
Yeah, there's a ton of plucks here. So here's Forgiving Stars. I love this one too. Great velocity when you're playing soft.
Yeah, I wanted to add as much expression to these as I could so they could be used all kinds of different ways.
But when you pop it.
Because everybody's playing style is different.
Yeah, but these are expressive in a nice way. You get what you expect when you play the way you play, which is nice. All right, here's From Dark to Light. This is another velocity patch where you bring up the controllers and it's just wide open.
Yep.
Yeah,
Blinding light.
Happening. Okay. Intrepid class. That must be a Star Trek in there somewhere.
Yep. Star Trek Voyager. That's the class of ship that the USS Voyager is. Taking you all the way to the Delta Quadrant.
Very harpish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a couple of those in this.
Lovely. Kyoto.
Kind of sounded a little bit Japanese to me when I finished making it, so all that.
And I love the ambience and the reverb on. Brings that very nicely. All right, M Cassette.
Progressive trance producer Michael Cassette. He does really 80s inspired style stuff, and a lot of his leads kind of have that sound. Or plus.
And again, it can get quite carried away and big and bold with the mod controls. Pure Pluck. Hear that motion? That's LFOs. I think there's 3 different LFOs being used.
Yeah, the amount of LFOs you get in Spire really open up your possibilities, because it's so frustrating with other synths sometimes where you only get 2.
Right.
And you want to do something way more, and you can't because you run out.
Yeah, here you get some subtle differences, each one doing different things. Space Wasp. This is another one based on the Hornet, right?
Yeah, like the Green Hornet. It was based off the EDP Wasp synth from the 70s. Those things were a lot of fun.
It's a great sound to it.
Yeah, it's got a lot of uses.
Absolutely. The Insomniacs.
This was my best, the best attempt I could do. The closest sound I could get to the plucked string sound of the Roland JV series, like the JV80 and the JD800. It had that pizzicato string, and Faithless used the ever-loving hell out of it for Insomnia and Salvania, and great sound. So I don't have any, Spire doesn't have any sounds like that, so it's the closest I can get to it. But it's fun, it's got a lot of uses, and those knobs really take it other places.
And very 80s synthy.
Yeah.
Lovely. Veltish.
Dead Mouse fans out there.
And this is one I did the finalizing on, and I have the mod wheel bringing in delay and opening up the width of the delays. So when you hit all the way up with the mod wheel, it's really bright, and the delays are out of the middle there to the sides. Very fun. Age of Love. These are sequence patches, so you play one note.
Instant tune starter.
And it works good for bass as well as up high. Great attack. Prog plumper.
Sidechain action.
Right.
I did the sidechaining for you, so you don't have to.
And it's cool. It's got that nice slow shape to it, like it's being faded in after being snapped down with a side chain. So it's not a bum bum. It's not a hard hit. It sounds right. Summer Dawn.
That one was fun to make. It's a really pretty melody. Something I had in my head, so I went and drew it in the arpeggiator.
So lots of controls with the mod wheels. Here's the classic sweep. So we're back to synths. These are the big. You shall not pass.
Yeah, you gotta have some big sweeps. Filter sweeps, those are very useful.
Totally. And you can get all sorts of variations with these controls. Cool. Destiny.
That's a Stargate Universe reference.
EMS Unisono. Play one note. And then you get all sorts of raspberry speeds.
Yep. Tether a few of those EMS synthes together, and
Yep.
there you go.
Awesome. Fascination.
Yeah, good old Human League.
Oh, that's right.
Games.
Boom. I'm not going to try to play it because it's not in my head right now.
But it's a useful sound for all kinds of other stuff,
Yeah.
too. I mean, yeah. That's the whole idea. That was a source of inspiration.
Go hard or
Go home.
go home. Sync on the mod wheel to make sure you get the point across. Music nonstop.
Yeah, Kraftwerk. Play the low notes, because that's where it really comes to its full potential.
Awesome. Progressive stab. All right. And the hollow one.
I like this one.
Great character. All those big lead sounds that are prevalent all over the place today. Here's an upward sweep. And another that happens from the reverb. Or the delays, maybe it is. Whatever it is, it's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And then finally the credits, and I made a little Easter egg patch in there that's hidden that you. And the module brings up fifth chords. And that's the library. There's also the bonus future library, which currently has 17 patches. MFM, these are the patches that Bob created for his Supergiant demo. We're actually going to expand this because I'm getting patches from Johnny Yono for the demo that he did that we're going to put in here too. So this will get to be an even bigger bonus bank in the future. So go through that. If you don't own this library and you want to check some of them out, this library is available to download for free from the pluginguru.com Spire FuturX website. So you can go up there and get Future Fun to play with. All sorts of fun stuff. All right. Well, Casey, thank you for creating this library and giving us a chance to get it out.
Yeah.
Sharing it with the world. And thank you to all you guys for your support. And more videos and more libraries are coming. So stay tuned, and we'll see you later. Bye.